Hello, hello, hello. How you all doing out there? Andy here, Guitarworks 1000. I've mentioned it before in another video, but I hope you're all doing well on this lockdown thing. And this is partly the motivation for the video, just to give you some inspiration. And this is no particular order. I think all of these are equally important. Just to give you some ideas for, just getting out of a rut really, and spending your time wisely. So I'm not going to say without further ado, because I say it all the time. I will say it without further ado. Number 5, clean your workspace. Now, my workspace, it's absolutely dreadful. It's so messy. There's just so much going on. I mean, what I should do is just clear this room out and start all over again, and when I've done it 2 or 3 times before, I feel just so energized because my space is clean. Now, I mean, I have I've got a nice space actually. It's sort of the end part of the garage, but some of you might have smaller spaces, which means even more importantly, keep your space tidy. It's very, very important, guys. Okay, number 4. Warm up. Do your warm up exercises. Okay, now what I've found personally is I often miss out on warming up. Especially at gigs, there's too much fun to be had. You're with your friends, you're having a meal, whatever, before the gig and stuff, and then just before the gig you just want to talk about some rubbish or other. But I'm talking about you're at home now. Pick your guitar up. Give yourself some scales to practice through, and if you don't know what scales to practice, then start off with your major scales, your minor scales, your pentatonic scales. Learn them in different positions. If you're a bit more advanced, go over the modal scales and where they fit in. And here's the thing, this isn't without its benefit. The first benefit, of course, is that you're going to become much more fluid with your playing. Just literally playing your guitar for a period of time makes you more fluid and ideas flow a lot better. But secondly, and more importantly for me, being a songwriter, it's where my ideas come from. You hit a bum note, you hit a scale in a certain position, it sets off something, and then once that idea is there, you can really start to think about songwriting, and then that will move itself forward from there. So that was number 4. Practice your scales and warming up, and also doing your spider exercises. And if you don't know about that, I'm sure I've done a video on it, or you can look it up on YouTube somewhere else. Number 3, listen. Put on some great guitar players and listen to what they're doing. Again, this will fire you up inspirationally. Now, you got to be careful with this, because if you're just starting out and you're listening to Yngwie Malmsteen, you're probably going to want to give the guitar up straight away. But if you're into your rock, put some Angus on, put some Van Halen on. Try and pick your genre, and get somebody playing who's just out of reach, or just in reach, but you're not quite sure, and just this actually goes into my my next one, which is number 2, which is play along to your favorite songs. So 2 and 3 can go together. I can't tell you how many hours I spent putting Van Halen records on, putting Bon Jovi records on. I had the hair and everything, and I would just play along and play along and play along and play along. It was like I was in the band. My mum shouted at me so much, you've no idea. I think I'm probably deaf from my mum shouting at me, not the music. But it paid its dividends. It will inspire you, it will give you ideas, and at the very bare minimum, you'll have a great time. Okay, so my number 1, you've been putting it off. It's something you've got to do. change your strings. You know that you've got a favourite guitar there that really could do with some love. And not just change your strings. Put some lemon oil if it's got a rosewood fingerboard. Get some proper guitar polish. Polish the body. You know, like you will with a car. You know, once it's all polished up and looking nice, it seems to drive better. And that's just a fallacy. It doesn't drive better at all. But just in your mind, this is what it's all about. So I hope I've given you some ideas to think about, and carry on with your sabbatical at home, guys. Get your guitars out. I'll just run through them again. Clean your space, practice your scales, listen to some guitar players, play along to some of your favourite tunes, change those strings and clean your guitar. Okay, until the next time, guys, take care. This is Andy out.